SciAnts. We get experimental science. We're curious, non-judgmental.
We have this ant queen that passed away. And so we're examining the different parts of her body to analyze and see what it looks like. The colony is all gone. There are no colony members left anymore. And so why that's unfortunate is the colony is dead, and because again we lost the queen. But I took her out of the trash pile and we're going to look at her under the microscope. I will note that most of her legs are gone. Her head has popped off. I did find her head, so we will see her head. And then her antennae were also removed, most likely meaning that they ate her, which is the standard of what these individuals do. So let me actually show y'all a photo of what the queen ant actually looked like before she died. So this is what the ant looked like beforehand. So we'll look at the head in just a moment. But a big component of it is you can see how large the abdomen is. The abdomen is absolutely massive because it's holding the ovaries of the animal. It also has right there the thorax. You can see a giant hump on its back. That is all flight and muscle tissue that is inside there, again, just for allowing for the wings to function, this animal to fly up in the air. And then there's also the head. And the head is much bigger than your normal ant's head. The brain is quite large in there. There's a lot of processes that the animal has to have. There's like flight, which all inherently takes more, it seems like takes a better nervous system because you have to have more visual cues coming in. There's mating information as well. There's a bunch of stuff in that brain. I zoomed in on the abdomen and I just wanted to show y'all one feature. So this is again where the ovaries are located, and y'all see these lines, these black lines that are all around here. Those are each tergite plates, and those plates allow the abdomen to expand or contract. That's because that's where the ovaries are, and if the ovaries, they respond to the environment. If the animal is starving, the ovaries shrink. If the animal is well fed, the ovaries grow. And you can actually really figure out by dissecting the ovaries how well fed these animals are. We can't do that because this has been dead for a while and you wouldn't see anything, but that's a neat thing to be able to do. But so y'all, this is the head. We'll zoom in on different parts of it, but you can see here is one eye and then here is the other eye. So they're so big on these animals that they actually pop off on the sides, like in terms of the depth. We do have pretty large mandibles on these animals. We'll zoom in so you can see how they're serrated, or they're even like a bread knife of how they're cut. And then if we zoom in on different body parts such as the eyes, so this will be one thing that we'd hope to get the better camera for so that we can make sure to get better resolution. But if you look here, there's a bunch of little circles here on the eye. And because there's all those little circles, each one of those circles is called the omatidium. Together, they're the omatidia. What they do is they allow the animal to see. There's neurons that go from each one of those cells to the optic lobe of the brain where they put together an image. And y'all see there's like a smattering of tiny circles on this eye. That actually is informative to us of how good the vision is of this insect. The more circles that they have on there, the better their vision is. These are sensory bristles on the animal. So all of those are little fine bits of hair that allow for sensory information. Part of it is for flight, which allows for the animals to detect what are the wind patterns that are incoming and how to avoid it and how to, adjust your flight, and then also keeping themselves clean, which I think is really neat. But these teeth are the mandibles of the ant, and they're like bread knives. They are serrated, so they can cut, like if you're cutting through something difficult like bread or even like thick meats or something like that. So it's made in part so that they can defend themselves, but also they can cut leaves and pick up different things. The queens, PhD Balint, they don't typically cut leaves, and that is very true. However, they need to establish their colonies when they are hatched, and they do need leaves for the fungus gardens in order to be fully successful on that front. So because of that, that's why they have such large mandibles. Those 3 circles, all 3 of those are called the ocelli, or false eyes. So they're on top of their head, and it's what they use to actually see, quote unquote, UV light. And so in order to allow them to have sustained flight patterns, it gives input from where the sun is coming in, and it allows them to adjust their flight pattern. I just told you that they flew, right? That they flew during their they had a mating flight. And Epoch, you might be like, Balint, in the first zoomed out image, sir, there is no wing. What are you telling me? What are you not telling me? Epoch, you're right. You're right, Epoch. I did not tell you something very important. These animals actually tear off their wings after they've landed. That is a zoomed in of the wing. So to give you some context, the wing would terminate here. That's connected to the body right here. And then this is your wing going out that way, or this way. It would be going past my head in terms of size. That's the wing where it should be connected. That's the connecting point. You see the wings continue downward. And you can see those beautiful wing veins as well. So that right there is your unmated queen as our comparison. And again, if y'all are interested, all the images will be up on the Discord as well, so you can zoom in and explore later on. And as Mike says, hopefully we'll get even prettier images. And then Epoch, here are the 3 eye cells. On this sample here, there's 1, 2, and 3. So you can see on another queen, we have those 3 cells again. Now you wouldn't see this pattern on different individuals. We can compare for a worker as well. They'll have a single one. But there again, the giant eye, the serrated teeth, or mandibles. Here is the wing that's connected. And you can see the rest of the wing as it goes downward. And see how the wing keeps going and going? The wings go a pretty far distance. It's at the end of the vial. I don't know. It's massive, right? We also have, we're going to look at it closely. This is the thorax of the ant. So the head would go here. You can actually see how, so if the head is right here, this whole upper body is full of muscle tissue. Because for her wings, for her flight muscles. So that's how low her head was relative to the rest of her back, which is quite cool, right? You can see how much space there is above its head. All of that right there is muscle tissue. So this animal is jacked, right, in terms of flight muscle. And you saw how giant those wings were. It has to be able to keep aloft and flying this massive body with such giant wings, and that's why, again, there's this big difference from here where the head connects and all the way up. That is all filled with muscle tissue. If there's any physical damage done to her, would you see it, like if the other ants went after her? So there is this. So like, you see here, Quath, the leg is missing. And there's another leg missing here. And then the head, we looked at the antenna. There were no antennae there. So there is physical damage, but I can't tell you that's physical damage from the fact that she dried out and she was just brittle, and when they moved her, she broke, or if they actually went after her. My bet, Quath, is what happened is that when she died, they, took the head off and took some of the body parts off and drank the insect blood or the hemolymph from the queen. That is my suspicion of what they ended up doing. And that they can never cut into the exoskeleton of these queens. The exoskeleton is far too thick that you wouldn't see bite marks or any damage in that way. The reason there might be a damage here at the leg joint or at the head, or the neck, is because those are joints that have very thin connective tissue keeping things together, and it's not just a solid piece of exoskeleton. This one here, the cut at the head I think is the cleanest. This one, it looks like it's a break point. That might be because when she dried out and they were moving her, it could have snapped off then. No, so Drammond, they lasted in May is when the queen died, and so it collapsed pretty rapidly. And actually, Drammond, that is That is not actually surprising. The whole colony is now gone. I checked on it today, and all the workers have also expired. So I went into I opened up the colony. I have not disposed of it because I don't have the heart to do it right yet, because I'm still actually quite upset about this. But I opened up the container. The goal is, yes, to get another queen. We're limited on when they will be available. We're still at least learning a lot about it.